Hello everyone, it's time for another episode of Am I the Asshole? If you like hearing Reddit stories, it would really support the channel if you could like or subscribe. Now let's dive into our first story. Am I the asshole for refusing to let my roommate's cat into my room after it apologized? I, 27 female, share an apartment with my roommate Lily, 26 female, who has a cat named Muffin. Muffin is adorable, but has a habit of sneaking into my room and knocking things over. Last week, I came home to find Muffin had somehow gotten in and destroyed a puzzle I had spent hours working on. Pieces were scattered everywhere. Some were chewed up, and one was lost entirely. I was furious. I told Lily that Muffin needed to stay out of my room, and she agreed. But she also said Muffin felt bad and wanted to apologize. I laughed it off, assuming she was joking. The next day, I found a little note on my desk written in Lily's handwriting that said, "I'm sorry, Muffin." Along with it was a cat treat. I thought it was funny, but didn't change my stance. Since then, Lily has been passive-aggressively saying things like, "Muffin's just trying to make things right," or "You're holding a grudge against a cat." She even suggested that I let Muffin into my room supervised so she can earn back my trust. I told her no, and that I wasn't interested in giving her cat another chance to destroy my stuff. Now she's calling me heartless for not accepting Muffin's apology and is acting like I'm being unreasonable. AITA here? Find a new letter from Muffin in which she denounces the previous letter as fake, boasts over her lack of remorse, and vows to do it again. Confront Lily with it. If Lily persists, keep finding increasingly sketchy letters from Muffin as she steadily broadens her nefarious ambitions. Really commit to the scenario. Out crazy cat person her, obviously not the asshole. I love cats. Username checks out. But they are unapologetic little gremlins that do what they want. If you don't want Muffin in your room, then there is zero valid reason for Lily to keep demanding she have access to it. That said, you could have a lot of fun with this if you wanted to. Or send Lily a letter from Muffin. Dear Wooey, please don't white letters from me and say I'm sorry for damaging OP's property. I'm not sorry because I was just being cat. It is not fair of you to expect me to understand and respect human concepts like personal property. If I see something fun left out of chores, I want to play. It's my nature. As humans, it's your jobs to keep things softy away from me. Not put it on me to know what puzzles are, and that all the whittle pieces have to stay perfectly organized and can't be chewed on. I did nothing wrong. If OP doesn't want me to play with her property, OP needs to keep her door shut, so I'm not put in that situation. Also, it's not safe for me to be let in places with small things I could chew on. P.S. I want my tweet back. OP didn't even eat it? I like the fact OP made sure to specify the note was written in Lily's handwriting, as if, without that bit of information, we would have assumed the cat actually wrote the apology note and gave you its treats. Presumably the only treat it was given for the day. How dare you nonchalantly reject an apology from the kitty known as Muffin, aka Lil Puzzle Destroyer? As a cat owner, no, they aren't going to apologize for what they have done if they could. Because I own 3 cats, and while 2 of them are sweethearts, I know they are still cats and will break stuff without any remorse. Especially my orange tabby. Dude's a total asshole. He will stare at you too while doing it. Put it plainly, cats don't give a fuck. Not the asshole. Your roommate needs to grow up. Not everyone wants their roommate's pet's hair in their room. Lock your door so the cat can't accidentally get in again. Your room is your space, not a common area. Am I the asshole for no longer giving support to my wife's family after I became successful with my own company, after they talked down about me? My early 30s wife, mid-20s, grew up in a fairly poor environment. Her grandpa had money, but her mom didn't, and her sister doesn't. My wife has an incredibly strong work ethic. She's probably more so defined as a workaholic. When I first met her, I was in trucking, making about 50K to 70K per year. Since then, I developed a niche for a specialty marketing field and became very good at it. All my friends encouraged me to go into business for myself with a marketing company. My wife was fully supportive of this, even after we discussed the financial difficulties we would have for the first year or so due to a limited budget. I made sure she knew that some months I may not get a check from the business. My salary is paid monthly. Her family, however, were not. They accused me of neglecting my family, being lazy, not wanting to work, etc. They would constantly be bringing up the fact that I didn't have a job because I was always home, working remote. She would defend me, but they would ignore it and continue to call me lazy and a deadbeat for putting my daughter in daycare while I worked from home. I was still driving a truck part-time to have steady, reliable income, but it was only half of what I was making on a good week. In the last year, however, I have grown my income from my business beyond what I was making in trucking and have very little overhead. Since we cut costs back when I first started, we realized a lot of things we were paying for we could do without or found other alternatives, and we never really added those expenses back, so it's like we have significantly more money now. I still drive a semi occasionally for a friend who owns his truck, mainly to keep my CDL active and stay knowledgeable in the industry as a fallback. Her family has taken note, and they are constantly asking to go out to eat with us, hang out with us, etc., then get mad when I never pay for the meals, the vacation, etc., aside from my part of the tab, obviously. Looking back, I understand why they never had money. They were living well beyond their means. But if it makes them happy, then it is what it is. I let my wife do whatever she wants with her money, which sometimes includes buying stuff for her family, which I support her doing with her money if that's how she wants to spend it. But I make sure that she knows I don't want a dime of my money going to her family, since they were very unsupportive of what made us our money and would go as far as to talk down about me for doing what led to our money. You are not obligated to play nice just because they want your money. I would, however, play nice if I wanted my partner to be happy. You can be polite without giving them anything, especially if they haven't apologized. I'm going with not the asshole. My wife is definitely happy. She is content with our arrangement and has never complained about it. But recently, her family has been putting pressure on her to make me loosen up and be part of the family more. Part of the family doesn't mean paying their way. Part of the family also doesn't mean accepting insults without objecting. Not the asshole. I'm curious as to what your wife says when you say you don't want a dime going to her family. That will tell you everything you need to know. Also, you are not the asshole. She's fine with it. Occasionally, if I know there is something she really wants to get for her family, I'll compromise and pick up a bill or two on her side that she normally pays, so she has some extra money to spend on them. Wait, what? Communication, compromise, a legitimate concern for your partner's happiness? Get out of here with that. You're in the wrong subreddit. /s. Seriously, you're fine. Ignore the guilt trips. They forgot that the person you kick in the face on the way up will own the ass you have to kiss on the way down. Don't let them manipulate you. Well, that's another episode of Am I the Asshole in the books. I really appreciate all of you who made it this far into the video. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, it would really help the channel out a lot if you gave the video a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.